This podcast is made possible by supporters like you. Mahalo. And by Atlas Insurance Agency, Hawaii's largest professional agency, helping Hawaii navigate insurance solutions since 1929. More at atlasinsurance.com.
Aloha, my kako. Welcome to a new episode of What School You Went. Start every conversation with that question. I'm Ron Mizutani, and today we're talking about, I think, one of the coolest jobs in Hawaii. No doubt about it. In fact, it might be the coolest job ever. We are pleased to welcome Nohea Keaunui-Gould to PBS Hawaii. Nohea is the operations manager at Wet n Wild in Kapolei and the ultimate Waterslide Tester. Welcome to PBS Hawaii, Nohea. Before we go any further, what school you went?
I went to Kamehameha schools.
You are a warrior.
I am.
For life.
Through and through.
Imua.
Imua.
You know, I every Kamehameha myself, every guest that we have on, I always ask them to sing a song of a little line of their alma mater. And I know you win song contest. Did you guys win?
No, we
For
did
real?
not.
You didn't win.
Not.
Yeah, it's a sore subject with me too, though. But you got to sing me a verse of your alma mater.
Oh my gosh, I haven't sang that in forever.
Be strong.
Be strong and alive, O sons of Hawaii. Wait, no. Oh no.
No, you guys changed it. You guys went with the long version before we didn't sing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Good enough. Ring, ring, kalihi ring. Yeah, but no, Imua, and welcome to PBS. Born and raised in
Eva Beach. Yes.
Okay, so your roots are deep. The Keaunuis.
Yep.
I the only Keaunui that I remember offhand is Reggie Keaunui, Reginald. Yep. Uncle Reggie was a bus driver.
Yes. Yes.
Pretty scary, brother. Family.
Yes.
He's family to you.
Yeah, somehow we're all related.
And the Gould family is a long history of athletics. You played
softball.
Softball.
Yes,
at
mostly
KS.
softball. Yes.
And went on to play a little bit?
Very little at the University of Hawaii, but my older sister played there for all 4 of her college years.
And she's still a coach today.
Yes, she is a coach there.
Coach for the Rainbow
coach.
Wahine.
Yes.
With Coach Bobby C.
Bobby C.
Coach Bob Coolan. I swear he's been there
forever.
For like 50 years. But no, Coach Bob's a good friend and a good man, too. Yeah. A very good man. So you graduated from UH Manoa?
Yes, 2016.
What was your degree?
Sociology.
Sociology.
Yes.
You know, I'm going deep into your education because I'm curious to know, because you didn't live in Hawaii all through your adult. You moved away a little while.
I did. So in, I think maybe my sophomore year of college, 2015. Oh no, maybe that's my junior year. I went and participated in the Disney College program out in Orlando, Florida at Disney World. That was supposed to be a 6-month program. Decided that I liked it too much, so I stayed for a year on the program, and then after that, I went full time with the Disney company out there.
So you worked at Florida in Orlando?
I did, and I stayed there for 6 years.
Wow! Yes. At what capacity?
I started off as a lifeguard.
Okay,
that was my. It's funny because they do like an online interview, right? You got to apply, and then they call you on the phone. And on the interview, the first question was, "Can you swim?" Like, "Oh, you're from Hawaii, you can swim, yeah?" And I'm like, "Yes, I can swim." So I talked to a few of my friends that did the program. They're like, "Oh, you're going to be a lifeguard." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, of course, right?"
Oh, so you didn't apply to be a lifeguard?
I did not. I just applied to do the program. But yeah, so I ended up getting picked as a lifeguard. Got out there, and in my head, I was like, I don't want to save lives. I can probably swim for myself, but to swim for other people, right? And one of my friends was like, "Oh, if you just failed a swim test, they'll just put you in something else because you're already out here. You came all the way from Hawaii, right? They're not going to send you back home." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's do that, right?" And then I got there and I was like, "No way! Yeah. It's like I can swim." I was like, "I'm not going to fail this test. Like I don't know how to fail the test."
Right.
So I passed the test. Ended up being a lifeguard for that whole first year of my program. Worked in a few different places, so some of the resorts out there at Disney World, and then when I went full-time with the company, I ended up getting a full-time position as a lifeguard at Blizzard Beach, so the water park over there. And then I kind of worked my way all the way up through, the ranks there, kind of got to management for my 6 years and finished at the Riviera Resort, I was part of that opening team there in 2019, I believe. And then I moved back home here in 2021.
Awesome.
Yep. So just a little after COVID was still going.
Okay, so did COVID bring you home, or you just decided it was time?
So COVID was like 2020, and Disney had actually shut down,
That's
you
right.
know? And I had my daughter at the time, and she was only 1. We were just unsure about, me going back to work, how COVID was going to affect her. She would have to go to daycare and all this kind of other stuff up there, right? So we were home here maybe just for a few months during COVID in 2020, and it was just good. It was just nice to be with family. All of my family is here, kind of hiding from COVID, I guess. And then went back, separated from my daughter's father, and then she and I moved back here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That experience in Florida must have been, what was it like working for Disney?
Oh my God.
Seriously.
For me personally, it was
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it. There's some people you're going to ask, and it's very hit or miss.
Yes.
And it also depends on,
Where-
what line of business
Correct.
you're in. If you're working in the theme parks and you're there till like 1 a.m. sometimes because they got these big events, like
It's
I
a
couldn't
grind.
do that. Yeah, I could not do that. But
yeah.
for me to be a lifeguard out there, we had the best costume. They call it a costume because you're part of a show, right? The best costume, just the red shorts, white shirt, bathing suit under, hat, whatever, easy. We had the good hours. They don't keep the water park open till midnight, so I was off of work by 6, 7 all the time, and then I get into the parks for free, so didn't have to go when it was busy. Went whenever I wanted to, played with my friends. The college program when I was on there was probably the best time of my life.
I bet.
Yeah, and then when I had my daughter, now she could come to Disney with me, and just good stuff.
You get lifetime benefits? No.
Oh, I wish. I wish. Oh my gosh, if I could, I would.
Yeah, my oldest boy, we took him to Disneyland in Anaheim when he was really young. Maybe he went a couple of times, but maybe the last time he went, he was like 7 or 8. And then now he's 33. But we took him a few years ago. That was the first time back for him. Yeah. And I share this story because I asked about being an employee of the Disney.
Yeah.
And, after about 5 or 6 hours, he was done. He had enough.
Okay.
And he said, I'm done. I got my fix. I got his Donald Duck hat. But we went to go buy a couple of items for him to take home. And the young lady working at the thrift shop, or not thrift shop, the gift shop rather, she was so happy, like off the charts happy, right? So my son, being Kolohe and kind of a wise, he looked at her and he's like, "You like working here?" And she said, "I love working here. This is the best place to be. It's the happiest place to be," right? The whole spiel. And he said, "I don't believe you. You can't be this happy." And he's a journalist, so you can understand why his cynicism.
Right.
But she said, "No, I am. I really love working here." And he said, "You're one of those persons that wake up happy?" And she said, "Yeah, I am. But that being said, we've heard stories of where people,
Yep.
they can get, it can be exhausting. Right?
Well, you know what? It's Disney, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knows you go to Disney, they're going to make your experience happy no matter what, even
Yes.
if you have a bad experience. But if you are the cast member, they call them, on the other end of that bad experience, yeah it's rough.
Yeah.
But they taught us about how to work through those, right?
Right.
And it's all about the guest service. Not necessarily that the guest is always right, but how do you fix and match what went wrong?
Yeah.
Because things are going to go wrong. That happens in every business.
Absolutely.
It is what it is. But that guest service piece, that was, I think, the best takeaway from me working at Disney. They taught us about safety a lot. They're very, very big on safety. So even now today in my current role at the water park, I take that very seriously. So safety stuff is super important. But the guest side of things, really getting to connect with people, empathize with people, understand, where they've come from, especially in Florida, people from all over the world.
Sure.
Language barriers and all this kind of other stuff. And Disney supports that, oh my gosh, like no other. If you need somebody that speaks Spanish, you can pick up a house phone. Hi, I need a translator for Spanish. I need this, I need that. And I think they just do it well.
Like no other.
Like no other.
Yeah, the brand itself is the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
But really, it is a culture, and you have to buy into it. But certainly you can take away, like you did, and that tourism side of your experiences and customer service, and you use the word empathy. You don't know what that person is going through on that particular day. I'd imagine that translated well. I mean, your water park experience in itself, lifeguarding and everything, translated well into when you came home and saw an opportunity. At
Definitely.
Tell me about that.
When I moved back home, I didn't work for a little bit, kind of just enjoyed my family time. Ended up working at the mall in Kapolei, so Kamakanali'i for a little bit under Jennifer Texera for Sweet Sweet Honey Hawaii. So I worked there for a little. Really loved her clothes and stuff. My kid still loves her clothes, all my family. So I was there for a bit. And then this operations manager job popped up, actually, and I saw that. But I actually applied with Wet n Wild initially for events. So I also have a certificate in event management from UCF out in Florida that I got while I was working with Disney because they helped pay for your college. So that was kind of nice. So I actually applied with events first under Eddie. Yes, so Eddie, who set us up here today, and had a really good interview. He and I really just connected on a good level, I think. And like maybe just a few days later, he was like, hey, I really liked you, but I think you might be better for this operations manager role instead of this events role. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Like, let me know what it's about. Connected with my director and our HR director. So my director is Chris Norman, and then my HR director, Helen. Met with them at first, did the first interview, and it was supposed to come in for a second one, and then kind of decided for a minute that I wasn't going to. I was like, oh, I'm going to pass right now, right? Stuck with Sweet Honey for a little bit longer. And then weirdly enough, I was on a trip out in Florida, kind of hanging out. Don't know really what was all going through my brain, but I was on my phone looking at jobs, and it was still there. This operations manager job was still there, and I was like,
it was speaking to you.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird, right? And so I, that night, pull out my phone, email, the director, Chris Norman, hey, wondering if this is still available, blah, blah. Got back in, did another interview, went back in for an in-person with them, did a tour of the park, and ended up just, okay, here's your offer. You let me know. And the end of the day, that day, I took that offer, and I've been there for 2 years this month.
Awesome.
Yes, 2 years.
Well, congratulations. What a great journey to get to a really wonderful place to be. And, you make people smile and everything. Clearly, it's our Disneyland, if you will, on Oahu at least.
Yeah.
So a part of your job as an operations manager, though, is, part of it is like what they call a Waterslide Tester, right? I mean, am I exaggerating, or is that really like something? Because about safety, you've got to have a lot of, okole is going down the slide before you open it up to the general public.
Every day. Yeah. So our slides and just the park in general actually kind of go through like a few different loops, every morning. My maintenance guys walk the slides, right? They have to actually physically walk and inspect on all of the slides first before my captain's team comes in and they do all of the slide testing. So I get to be a part of that sometimes.
So what is a slide tester?
I'm supposed to go up there and ride the slide properly and make sure that it's ready for our guests. There's always oh my gosh, there's nobody else in the park right now. Like, let's jump down the slide. No, not allowed. Safety. But we literally test every slide every morning. It has to be. Every single one, even the little tiny kid slides. I got to walk those. I got to slide on them, make sure that they're ready for the guests, make sure there's nothing wrong. Even just like water level stuff, maybe there's nothing wrong with the actual slide, but is the water level where it's supposed to be? Those things are actually really important. You don't really realize that. Even at my time at Disney, I didn't really have to know the maintenance side of things. They had something for that. Somebody is specific to this, somebody specific to that. But at Wet n Wild, I get the opportunity to kind of be in the mix of everything because I am operations, so I oversee. So I get to walk slides too. So I have to, real nicely walk, so I don't slip and fall. And then I also get to be a part of making sure
slide testing.
Yeah, slide testing. The flow is right. The water, that kind of stuff. Water level is where it's supposed to be at.
Yeah, you've got. I'm going to go someplace probably not PBS friendly, but when I've come down those slides, especially the big ones, nothing like getting a wedgie. All right. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure water test sliders have had their share through the years, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What determines, so you're doing a test. Mm-hmm. What determines if something needs a repair? Because manufacturers all differ.
Yes.
And each slide has probably details, safety precautions that you guys have to learn about.
Yeah, definitely. So specifically when you walk the slide, like before you even touch the pump house, turn on the water, that kind of stuff, when you walk it, you're looking for like large cracks, anywhere where your seams, right, are not connected anymore for whatever reason. Anything sticking up, sticking out, because slides get wear and tear over time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Your water's constantly running over it and all that kind of stuff. People riding on it, people doing stuff they're not supposed to on it.
Right.
So anything like that when you're walking the slides. And then when you go to a pump house or you're going to like poolside is what we call it, chemicals. Right, I need to make sure that the chemicals in the pool are correct. So my chlorine and my pH has to be at a certain level every single day for every attraction, every pool, has what it's supposed to be at.
Right.
So
Every day?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And so my maintenance guys do a really good job. My director, Chris, actually, he is really, really, really great at the maintenance side of things too, making sure our pump houses are run properly. They have what they're supposed to have so that we can make sure our chemicals in the pool are correct. Have you ever gone to a pool and you can smell the chlorine?
Yes, of course.
That's bad.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
No, you're not supposed to be able to smell it. You're not supposed to be able to smell it. It's supposed to be just neutralized all the other things, whatever else goes into the pool. So if you're walking around and you can smell chlorine, that's bad. Don't do it. I mean, obviously you're going to get chlorine on you when you leave the park and when you smell like it after. But if you're just like whiffing that off of a pool, no, that's not good.
No, I can imagine. We're here laughing and smiling and everything, but I'd imagine that's got to be extremely stressful.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're talking about a lot of people. You're ultimately responsible for not only them having a good time, but being safe.
Yeah, definitely. And it's different once you start putting people into the water.
Sure.
So in the morning time, your chemicals might look perfect. You got your good numbers across the board. Everything's good to go. As soon as you start adding people into the water, that bather load, right?
Right.
It's so crazy because you don't think about it, but all of the oils and sunscreen that come off of them when they come into the water, the dirt that they bring, they're walking around barefoot in the park, so you're bringing in dirt into the pool, and monitoring that throughout the day. So my maintenance guys, I have pool maintenance boys that have to go around to the different pools throughout the day at different times and double check the chemicals. If anything is ever off, they got to go back into the pump room, adjust things on the monitors and things like that, just to make sure it's all safe and running, which is a lot of back of house things people don't really see.
You don't see, and that's
that.
a good thing because we're not supposed to see. And really, like I tell some of our team sometimes, the public doesn't care. Nope. They just want to watch.
Yep, they're just
Masterpiece.
coming to swim.
They're
coming to swim and have a good time.
They came here to have a good time.
Yep, and it's actually part of our job too, right? To put on that kind of a facade that, hey, it is all good.
Yeah.
Even when things are bad, okay, if I got to close this, but this is open.
Exactly.
This is open, giving them other options to enjoy themselves because that's what they're coming for, right? We're a family-friendly park. I grew up going there when they used to have the blow-up screen at the wave pool. And during the summertime, they had just slide nights and movie nights. And I remember they had like the rides on the hill open. They had the movie in the pool, sitting in a tube, So I grew up going there as a kid. So having to come there and work there and now learning the back of house stuff actually just kind of makes me appreciate it a lot more, because I know what it takes to actually run that place and to make it a good place for people to come and to enjoy.
And the general public, again, has no idea about the maintenance and inspections and all of the training and testing that you folks have to be aware of. When we were growing up, you talked about you grew up going to the water park. We had Castle Park. I know you look puzzled. Castle Park was our Wet and Wild.
Okay.
But it was on steroids. And we had I'm not kidding. We had bumper boats. I mean, people who are older than you. And we had slides. We had, it was like our water park, but it also had Grand Prix racing and everything. It was awesome. It was right next to the stadium. Yeah. And today I think, it used to be a big sack and save. Now it's like an empty lot of businesses that have gone down. But it was our playground, Castle Park.
Wow.
If you look up pictures, you'll see, oh, wow. Yeah, it was cool. It was very cool. But again, safety was was very key, and they did have a tragedy there that I think contributed to its closure. But nevertheless, it was good times, good memories there, and that's what it's all about: making memories, right?
Yep, definitely.
And for you, seeing the smile, especially on a Keiki's face, or even a kupuna for that matter, what's that like?
Specifically my daughter. So my daughter, spoiled as she already is, she gets to come to the water park and play kind of just whenever she wants to the point where she'll walk in there and she'll be like, Mommy, I'm going here. She knows all the lifeguards, So if I call for, anybody seen my kid? She's like, oh, she's with me. I'm like, oh my God, of course she is, It's such a good feeling. It's a good feeling to know that your hard work is contributing to somebody's happiness. All the hard work that nobody sees behind the scenes that I get to remind my employees about too, right? If they're having a hard day, it's a long day, it's a rough day. Sometimes, specifically for lifeguards, right? They're on stand for a long time, tired, it's hot. Even then, when they get to see just a little kid happy, or a little kid comes up and gives them a little fist bump, or hey, thank you, or stuff like that. Such a good feeling. Yeah. Just such a good feeling.
It is. It's a wonderful place to be. I really am. Not because you're sitting here, not because I've known Eddie for a little bit, long time. In fact, he's been there forever.
Yes, a while,
long time. But just the fact that it's brought so much memories for my children as well. And as you evolve with the company has evolved. They have new things, new rides. I mean, you want to keep it fresh. You want to be relevant.
Yes.
And now you guys even have concerts there, from what I understand.
Yes, we do.
That's madness.
We're actually packed for the rest of the year, So we're doing these neon nights, which is kind of cool, right? You dress up in your little neon. We have a foam cannon. Foam cannon is fun. We put that out into the wave pool.
Foam, like F-O-A-M?
Yes.
What does that do?
Foam. It's literally like a big cannon. It says Foam Daddy on it.
Yes.
That's the company. It's big Foam Daddy on it. And we put a solution, whatever, bubbles and stuff into it. It's like a gel solution with just water. That's it.
And you shoot it out?
Shoot it everywhere.
People love it.
Shoot it everywhere. We did it in the little kids area a few times, done it in our grass areas. Neon nights, we usually do it in the wave pool. We got the big screen out. So we have a DJ usually on neon nights. And then we're doing a few different concerts. So we have our Chiefs Luau area, which is where the lazy river is. That middle section used to be like an adult hangout.
Yes.
It used to be like a jacuzzi and bar and stuff like that. So that's turned into Chiefs Luau, who's a partner with us, and they do a luau there every night of the week, except for Tuesdays and Saturdays right now. Yeah. But we are now converting that to a concert space as well. So we just did Pauly D. You know Pauly D? He's a DJ.
Don't know. But I'm sure he's dope.
He's, I don't know much about him either. He's from a show called Jersey Shore that I've never watched.
Oh, Pauly D, yeah.
Yes.
Of course I know Pauly D.
So we brought him out.
He's good friends with The Situation, right?
So we brought him out.
Jesse Muckadang Dang's laughing at me. But yeah, come on, I watch MTV.
Oh my God.
How you doing? It's Jersey Boys, Jersey Shore. Okay.
Yeah, so we put them in our Chiefs Luau area, turned that into like a little space for them. And then our back area, we've turned into like obviously a way much bigger space.
Wow.
And doing we've had a few raves back there, a couple of different things. We did like a kind of like a polyfest back there, which kind of turned out pretty good. But yeah, really just trying to, switch over from COVID still, right? Sure. I feel like there's a lot of businesses that are still trying to navigate through that, figure that out. Like, can we do this? Can we not? And kind of just bring extra things to the park, make it not just, it's not just a place where you go swim. It's not just a place you do this. Like, here's some other options. And yeah.
But that's your bread and butter.
Oh, yeah.
That brings people is the water. Mm-hmm. And people love the water. The water is, like Auntie Rella's son used to tell me, it's the ocean was her paradise and playground, but it kept her alive.
Yeah.
And for many of us, water obviously keeps us alive. Yes. We can't live without it. But for you, the water has given you so much joy and now a career.
Yes.
And welcome home. Good to have you home.
Thank you. It's good to be home.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
I bet it is. What a blessing.
Yeah.
Who knew? You'd be in Florida, in Orlando.
For 6 years. Never
and
thought.
Then come home and...
coming out of high school and starting college, it's always that, I can't wait to get away from home. I can't wait to get away from home. And I'll tell you, when I was out there, I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
You know, if you ask my mom till this day, Mom, sorry if you're listening, but I didn't answer the phone. I didn't text. I didn't call, you know, mostly because it made me miss them more when they tried to reach out. But I was just enjoying.
Is that why my sons don't text and call?
Probably. They're going to miss you and then they're going to want to come home. You don't want them to move back in your house. No. But yeah, even my sisters, oh, you don't talk to us anymore. Yeah. Like, yeah, you know, now that I look back on it, a bad choice for me because now I'm home and I'm back with them, right? And it's different. Those are the best relationships I've got, right? Family's all we got at the end of the day. But yeah, I didn't ever think that I would have gone on this fun program that I thought to do for 6 months, just enjoy, right? And end up staying there for 6 years, finishing my degree online, just was never in the plans.
The blessing of a child?
Yeah, definitely. And then being able to still come back home and all my family's here, you know, and especially with my daughter, they don't lie when they tell you it takes a village.
Yeah.
You know, again, if you ask my mom, that's her part-time job is watching my kid, right? She does her regular Monday through Friday, and then weekends, mommy's at work. So that's where my daughter is, you know, with my mom, my grandma, my sisters. And we all pitch in and help each other out, or it doesn't
That's how
work.
we roll in Hawaii.
Yep.
You gots to.
Have
you gots to. You know, you can't choose your family, but boy, thank goodness we can't choose our family because our family is very forgiving and merciful and grace. And you can't do it without it.
Yeah.
So I understand that. Well, I tell you what, being the ultimate waterslide tester that you are, but really there's a whole bunch more to your responsibility. I applaud you because I can't imagine the stress every day. I mean, that level. Yet maintaining a happy face and, you know, my wife's a flight attendant, and people say, oh, you know, it's not the job that you think. I mean, your job up there is to save people, keep them alive. Yep. And then they do a lot of stuff that we don't even think about, toilets and stuff like that. I couldn't do it.
Yep.
I couldn't. Somebody gave me a lip, oh, are you ready to help assist in the event of emergency? No, I'm out of here. I would be like, yeah, really funny. I never heard that one before, even though I've done that before, you know, in the exit row. But for you, you know, that's somebody's life too. So
definitely. And being the operations manager, you know, I don't know that I truly read the job description when they hired me. I think it was kind of just like I worked at water parks before. I could do this. I could take this on, right? But I oversee like 5 different departments. I do a lot of scheduling, recruiting, and that kind of stuff while also being out in the park and trying to run the operation and make sure that, you know, the guest is taken care of, my employees are taken care of.
Chlorine levels,
right, you know, and stress, yes, 100% stress. But I just told my boss that the other day. I'm like, it's actually kind of fun when things are all blowing up at the same time and I got to problem solve and make it work. And then when I do make it work, it's like, oh, yes, I did that. You know, I did that. But it's also very, very rewarding. When I learn something new, specifically from my boss. He has been around the park a time or two, you know, in every sort of capacity in the like recreation world that you can think of. And he's got so much knowledge that I don't know that I'd ever would have been exposed to, you know, if I had stayed out at Disney or if I had went to another job. Sure. And so I learned a lot from him about the business, a lot from him about people just in general. He's really changed my management style of things. Especially I feel like growing up in Hawaii too, it's kind of just like, oh, you don't show up to work? Fine, get out of here, you know? But it's that extra empathy piece of it, right? You don't know what somebody's going through. And I hire people from 16 years old and up. You know, my lifeguards come in at 16 years old. They're literally trained to save somebody's life if they have to, right? They're here for prevention. That's what
CPR trained, everything.
Yep. CPR trained, first aid, and all of that. They are able to save somebody's life at the end of the day, you know? And I think I never truly realized how heavy that is for a 16-year-old, you know? And it just gives me a lot more pride in the work that they do. Makes me a lot more proud of them when I see them, like it finally clicks in their head, like, oh, I remembered this. Oh, I did this, you know? Or when a lifeguard gets their first save, you know, and they jump in, they help a little kid or they help a parent and they're like, oh, yeah. We give them these little beads that go on their lanyards and, oh, I saved somebody. You know, I did my job for the day. Just makes me a lot more proud to be a part of that, to be a part of teaching these kids life lessons, you know, that'll stay with them forever. I don't anticipate and I don't expect, I hope all my lifeguards are listening to this, that they will stay with me forever and be lifeguards forever, right? but I want them to take the skills that they've learned and hopefully a little extra from me, from my bosses, from everybody else, and go out and do great things. I have a couple of people that have gone on to do like nursing, medical assistant, some of them that are in school now. Our aquatics manager, now is an EMT with City and County.
Awesome.
And that's something he's worked for and the water park has helped him with, and just all sorts of things that you don't really think of, but it's so rewarding at the end of it.
You are impacting folks in a very big way, Nohea. And, again, you're much more than a ultimate waterslide tester. I joke about that, but it is one of the cool parts of your job.
Yeah.
But so much more. And thank you for coming home. And thank you for, I'm sure Wet Wild is very excited that you do come home with that kind of experience because you can't teach that part of the business, especially when it comes to empathy and tourism and understanding guest services.
Yeah.
It's such an intense lesson that you learned up there and you brought it home. And that's so very cool. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Continued success.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to butter you up so you can give me a free to kind of down the big kahuna, but
You ever want to come slide test, you let me know.
yeah, okay, but I'll be the guy with the shirt on because back in the day, maybe I didn't have to wear it, but today I do. No, all joking aside, Nohea, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Right on, good
Thanks for
fun,
having me.
good fun. Your daughter's name?
Addison.
Addison. Hi, Addison.
Hi, Addison. She's at school right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, later on, I just say, your mommy is doing very, very well. Okay.
Thank
very
you.
proud of her. Mahalo nui for joining us, folks. Join us next week, another episode of What School You Went. Until then, ahui ho.
What School You Went is a PBS Hawaii production. Music by Taimane Gardner. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and tell your friends. You can find us on pbshawaii.org and everywhere you get your podcasts.